If I could get your attention as you're starting your lunch here. All right. We are really fortunate today to have a special guest, and it's my great honor to be able to introduce our Lieutenant Governor, Garlin Gilchrist. Now, many of you may not know, but he is an engineer. How about that? You're in a room full of engineers, Lieutenant Governor. And also accountants and planners and communication professionals and a lot of other folks that help support our transportation community. Now, the Lieutenant Governor happens to be a software engineer, not a civil engineer, but if you were here earlier, you would have heard about all the technology we're using, the latest computer science and technology to really make our jobs that much better and to serve the citizens of Michigan better. So Lieutenant Governor Gilchrist has dedicated his career to fixing problems for hardworking families, from spearheading campaigns for equality and justice to harnessing technology to solve everyday problems for Detroiters. His focus has consistently remained on serving the public by getting things done. Bringing Michigan's state government fully into the 21st century is a top priority for Lieutenant Governor Gilchrist. He brings a lifetime of experience to the task, receiving his first computer at age 5 and setting up a computer lab in the Community Recreation Center using computers that he actually built himself. That's pretty awesome. The Lieutenant Governor studied computer engineering and computer science at the University of Michigan. Go Blue. Graduating with honors. There we go, go Blue. Graduating with honors and later had a successful career as a software engineer at Microsoft, helping to build SharePoint into the fastest growing product in the company's history. We all know SharePoint, right? He shares the governor's commitment to rebuilding our state's roads and bridges. In fact, over the past several weeks, he has toured some of the roads in critical condition that will benefit from the Rebuilding Michigan plan. And some of you may have had the privilege of leading those tours and meeting him. And last but not least, he certainly inspires all of us to stand tall for Michigan as we lead our state into the future. So please join me, ladies and gentlemen of MDOT, in welcoming our Lieutenant Governor, Garlin Gilchrist.
All right, how y'all doing? I'm jealous of y'all that y'all get to eat. It's really important, but one of the things they don't tell you is that you basically never get to eat at events in this job. So enjoy that salad vicariously for me. It's really an honor and a privilege to be here. I certainly want to recognize all of the MDOT professionals. All of you do amazing work on behalf of the people of the state of Michigan. I have had the pleasure to be able to do some ride-alongs with a number of you in different regions, where it's basically been you, me, and a couple of reporters complaining about the roads. But from my perspective, the story that's important to tell there is really the story of how professionals like yourselves and the ones you work alongside every day have had to do so much with so little support, have had to do things that have led you to be internationally recognized for asset management, which is like a good thing to be recognized for, but I understand that necessity is the mother of innovation, and you had to basically wring so much out of those assets for so long because we weren't giving you, frankly, enough funding to be able to do the things that you really wanted to do. So I want to thank you for your commitment, for your creativity, for your ingenuity, and actually solving problems for people across the state of Michigan, being a key contributor to public safety in communities all across the state of Michigan. Just thank you for your service. I also want to recognize Director Ajaba, who is also a very good Michigan man. I know that I got to deal with a lot of Michigan State people in this job, but I'm not going to apologize for being a Michigan guy. And I want to thank him for his service and his leadership, and know that everyone in this department has a champion and an advocate and a friend in Director Ajaba. So thank you, Paul, for your service. I talked about doing those ride-alongs this season, and that's been really important for us to really call attention to the primacy of the challenges that we face in infrastructure in the state. But it also has been a chance for us to talk about the opportunity that we've created. Y'all are now all familiar with the plan that Governor Gretchen Whitmer introduced in the State of the State and that we rolled out to use bond funding to be able to get to work right now to fix roads that we all know need to be fixed. But it's a little different, and I guess I don't need to explain this to y'all, but it's important that we're getting a chance to do these things in the right way. You know, people are often frustrated, and I can say this as an engineer. I've done many a project where you knew you weren't actually doing the real deep dive you needed to do, when you weren't applying the fix that you know needed to happen in order to be a long-term solution. And we're hoping that with these resources, we're enabling you to make those choices and to make those kinds of investments so that we can actually really start or to bring forward, I think it's like 122 projects in the next 5 years. And these can actually be, rather than past jobs and kind of papering over things, can be real road reconstruction. And this is, again, for me, for the governor, I think for the people of Michigan, and for all of you, this is really a matter of public safety. A lot of times we talk about the money that's saved, the money that's being invested, how long are we spending the money for, all these kinds of things. But this really is a matter of public safety, and it's about public trust in the infrastructure. And you all, as the keepers and the stewards of that infrastructure, are really keepers and stewards of that public trust. And so we are hoping to empower you and enable you to be able to make the choices that you know need to be made as professionals, and know that we will have these resources behind you to make these state trunk line roads work for more people. So again, I really want to make sure that we also recognize that the timing is right for this. The timing is right for this because, frankly, there's no time like the present. The governor and I are going to continue to negotiate and work towards a long-term solution that is going to put even more resources in your hands and in the hands of your counterparts at the local level to deliver on the fixes that we know our communities need. But we can also get to work right now and doing stuff. I want it to be true that whenever someone in Michigan basically sees a barrel on the freeway, they know they have y'all in this administration to thank for it. But I also want them to know that if they're driving on a local road to get to the freeway and something happens, they need to make a phone call and advocate for someone to come to the table and work with us to get you more tools in your hands. But we can do this. We can do this together. Our administration this year is committed to making sure that we cannot let any barrier stand between us, stand between the people of Michigan and progress. So if we implement this plan fully, we believe that will put us on a path and build momentum so we can truly get things done here for the people of Michigan. And I want to leave you with this. As an engineer, when we see challenges, we get excited. When y'all see a problem that's complicated, that's knotty, you want to dig right into it. And what I encourage you to do is to not lose that spirit. That is the spirit that is going to continue to drive this state, this department, our economy, and our people forward. We need infrastructure to be sound, safe, secure, so that we can continue to make the additional investments that build upon that foundation to support life, community, and the economy and the future of the state of Michigan. We can all do that together, but we cannot do it without your leadership. So please continue to be leaders in a technical capacity. Continue to be leaders in your service capacity. Continue to be leaders in your community. And I know that I will be happy and proud to stand tall alongside all of you as you make a difference for the people of Michigan. Thank you so much for your service and commitment, and thank you for continuing to just be great champions for the state of Michigan. All right.
All right, Lieutenant Governor.
All right, I got time for a couple questions.
So I'm going to start with one.
All right.
I'll send one your way, and then we have some mics in the audience, hopefully. I got to bring this down, obviously. It seems that fixing the roads means different things to different people. Some think it means Okay. All right, sorry. So fixing the roads means different things to different people. Some people think it means alleviating congestion. Some people think it just means give me a smoother ride. So when you hear fixing the roads and you heard the governor's signature line during the campaign, what did that mean to you?
All right, if you hold it, then we don't have a height problem. So, all right, what does fixing roads mean to me? So I'll tell you what it means when I hear people ask me about it every single day. People are really concerned, I think, about two things. One is they know sort of in their gut that avoiding potholes is a dangerous way to drive. So the public safety piece is really important. Making sure that when they're driving, they're only making choices about driving straight. That's what they're focused on. The other piece is it's really frustrating to have to fix your car all the time. Like, for real, people in Michigan spend almost $700 a year fixing their cars, blown tires, bent rims, cracked windshields, all kind of stuff. I just had to put my car in the shop, actually, and it's like the end of my lease, too. It's terrible. It sucks to have to fix your car. Yeah. And I get a car and I got to fix it. It's terrible. So people do not want the road to break their cars, and they want the road to be safe for them and their families to drive on. So for us, that's not just about a smooth ride. It's also about how can we fix this once and fix it right. Fix this once and fix it right. And so that's what we're trying to do with this particular investment this year, and that's what we're going to be focused on for all our plans. All right, other questions? All right, we planted a couple questions too, it looks like. So, all right. Since you spent some time in the past few months with department leaders in Lansing and in the regions, what have you learned that you did not know about MDOT? Okay, that's cool. So, a few things. I mean, one, it's been good to, I'm still trying to actually figure out the logic behind the regions and the region names. That's been interesting, but I'm gonna need a whole tutorial on that. One thing that's been really important is it's actually made me understand at least a little bit. Like, I don't have enough knowledge and experience to be dangerous, but now when I look at a road or look at the freeway, I actually have a little bit of language about how to describe the type of fix. Like, oh, this is the center line, this is this kind of patch or that kind of patch. And even be able to look at something and say, roughly this was fixed 4 years ago or 10 years ago. So I feel much better informed when I'm driving, and I don't know if that's a great thing, because now I'm I'm thinking about it a lot. And but I've also just seen that I think the engineers who I've been able to do the ride-alongs with, they've also had the ability to talk about this in really simple and accessible terms, and that's not something a lot of engineers are good at. And so to me, it speaks to the talent and the communication skills that are present all throughout this department, and especially in the engineering corps.
One more. Anybody in the audience? Oh, wait.
Good afternoon, Lieutenant Governor.
Yes.
I'm Crystal Parker, and I'm from MDOT, but I'm with the Office of Business and Development. So we don't help fix the roads. What we do is outreach for the DBE program, which is Disadvantaged Business Enterprise. And that's where we reach out to minority-owned and women-owned businesses. So my question to you is, how can we connect to your office and Governor Whitmer to reach out to more businesses in the state of Michigan to help grow the minority-owned and women-owned businesses, to help connect them to MDOT?
Okay, good. Did everybody hear the question? Head nodding means yes, we heard the question. Okay, good. So this bonding proposal, we believe, presents an opportunity to look at perhaps a different model than some of our other funding sources for how we can ensure that there is equitable opportunity for more businesses to participate in the contracting opportunities that will be presented with these 122 projects. And so I think that we should talk about the specific things that you've tried in the past so we can evaluate how they've worked and how they haven't worked. I mean, I've certainly heard from people in the community who have had a range of experiences and perspectives on that. But I think the bond funding, it has, frankly, a different set of parameters around it that may give MDOT some more flexibility with how it approaches ensuring that there's equitable opportunities for a diverse set of contractors and businesses that are from both the diverse parts of the state geographically, but also that represent different communities where you have women-owned businesses, veteran-owned businesses, service for disabled owned businesses and minority-owned contractors. So I see this as an opportunity to really, I think, lay down perhaps a new marker and a new model for MDOT and for the state of Michigan broadly from a contract perspective, and that's a very exciting opportunity to me.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Okay, thank you, everybody.